We are live?
Yeah, Gary, where are you going?
I'm doing my warm up. I've been told to do a warm up from Stacey earlier.
More stretching.
I'm getting in my 10,000 steps a day. So here we are with my wonderful model, Rachel, with all this amazing hair. Good morning, good evening, good night, some of you, whatever you are in the world. As per usual, let us know where you're tuning in from. We're doing some trends, or a trend. I'd like to call it a movement from Swim Week. We'd obviously just returned from Miami just a couple of weeks ago. So what did we see there? How did we approach it? Do we think it's going to last, etc.? Where's it going? So yes, all of the above, I think, because I've even seen more of it actually in some social media sites as well. So look at Rachel's hair, which is a rather nice amount, as you can see through here. Are you sure it's all yours, or is it all wig?
It's all mine.
I could do the Instagram thing, couldn't I? Just like do that. All right, we can do that. We can do the whole sort of like, ooh. There we go. Right. Assessing it all, doing test pieces and stuff like that. As per always, as well, questions. Let us know where you are. There's got to be questions today. Magic Mike is once again behind the camera.
This is true.
There we go. There's that legendary thumb of his. I've got a guest stylist today as well. Francisco is normally behind the camera lens. He could not wait to get behind the chair. So he's going to be making an appearance today. And we'll probably see the makeup girl come and touch up as well. Do push me out of the way, and you know, if it's getting a bit too hot and glossy behind here, if I've got any hot spots, etc. We'll be doing that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get cracking. Otherwise I could be here all day just waffling. I'm going to start with a bit of U-Dry Plus dry shampoo. Now I know the hair's clean, but I want to use this to start my preparation. So good shake. Listen to that ball bearing. That will give the mix of propellant and powder. You want to make sure you can hear that. And I will literally just go through the hair, starting in the nape of the neck, getting in relatively close. So U-Dry Plus is for generally used on a daily basis for hair that is a couple of days old, which Rachel's hair isn't. When did you last wash it, my dear?
Yesterday.
Are you sure? You're telling me the truth? You know what you girls
Promise.
are like. Right, so it's ideal for that. I call this one Gym to Drinks. You know, when you've done your Zumba class, when you've had the wasp in your underwear and you've done the Zumba class and it's all you finished that. This is amazing for it because you don't want to go and wash your hair again, do you?
No.
No chance. Even if you've just been at the beach all day and you're like, oh, I've got a rush to get out, go and meet my friends, you're going to hit the old dry shampoo. Dry shampoo mixed with a little bit of our U-Dry Fresh is a great combination. So I'm just going to pop this in root base and then apply some very loosely through the rest. So using it just as a general dressing spray, as it were, just to put some through the hair. And look, I can be quite generous with this. I do like to use a fair amount, and it just aids in the prep, and I'll go into that more in detail. Now, the next thing you want to do, get yourself a hairdryer, put it on cold setting, and fire away, just get that root base ignited to help push that product through the hair. Now we did have a chat off camera beforehand, and she says her hair gets a little bit knotty. So it's that type of hair that can fine, but a lot of it, we've got the perfect product for that. So as you can see though, hair's jumped up beautifully. It just reignites it, just putting that in with a hairdryer. Very few people ever do. They just normally use dry shampoo and just massage it. I always say put the hairdryer on, make it jump, and then you've got this popping up. And look at that. Looks like it's had a fresh blow dry. Amazing. Right, so the hair that actually does not a lot. You Dry Fresh. It's conditioner. Why would you not use a conditioner after using shampoo? So same process, but still good. All I'm doing is moisturising mid-lengths and ends. I think there's some colour put in here at some point. Are we going to divulge secrets live on camera? Are you going to admit to us?
We did. I did.
Just a couple of shades darker than natural.
Yep.
There you go.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, you can't trick hairdressers. We know everything.
I know, you nailed it.
Yeah, well. Unfortunately, 65 years in the industry, I've seen most colours. It's actually not that far off that either. It's over 40, so I'm not going to say any more than that. Right, look at that. Fantastic, glossy. Now that's the start of our prep. Now we're going to go into the waving process, and the waving process of what we saw predominantly in Miami. And this is, you know, what's quite interesting in Miami is that you are working in such extreme conditions as far as, you know, the girls walking on runways are generally going to be outside a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot. And what is the number one thing you're going to fight there? Humidity. So I'm going to use a combination of product for this. And I'm going to start with dusting the hair. I'm just going to pop it on this section, side of the face. Section clip as always. Now, I'm going to prep the hair again with some Silky Smooth. Now, Silky Smooth, the ideal use of this product is from wet to dry, but this is great for using it with irons, and it literally is with that smallest amount. Very, very high, rich moisture content in that. And all I'm going to do is just take the wetness out of that, and I'm going to use cold air again. Okay, I'll just feel between my hands what that feels like. Feels great. So now we want to introduce what we're going to set it with. It's going to give it all that hold, etc. Well, the number one setting spray for us backstage was Max Control Spray. Most of you already know where I'm going with this anyway. So now, application's key. When I teach hairdressers about this, they're always using it from distance, like they're working in the salon and using it as a finishing spray. You know, this is your setting spray. So you come in extremely close to the head, hands behind so you don't spray the model in the face, and you just literally, it's just the tiniest pressure on the nozzle is just enough to get it going. It's not, okay, it's just literally that. Get the product out. Francisco's filming my product table at the moment. Little does he know he's going to have to get it closer when he starts winding the hair up himself in a second. Right, I'm going to go glove. I'm thinking which way will I do this round for the camera. I'm going to go that way. Heat mitt, because I'm using a curling wand, right? I'm using the Unite curling wand, mid-sized barrel. And actually, I'm just going to laminate the spray onto the hair. So that allows me to seal all that product I've got in that, the Silky Smooth and the hairspray allows me to laminate that on. And then I can feel what that feels like, and I'm going to use a little bit more spray on that. It's still not enough. I'm going to switch gloves, switch hands. Very quiet, Mike. No questions coming in?
Nothing yet.
Nothing? And this would be normally go on in the back of the head. This would be what I would call my test piece, just to see how the hair responds to the product. Are we going to get enough hold in it, etc.? Because that is the most important thing. There we go. That's nice. Right, we do a flat wrap, twist, introduce the iron, and make sure we get a really, really nice firm twist on the hair. So I call that wrist. watch strap to watch face. Make sure you have it away from the model's ear. And pop that off. And I can feel already that it's got a really, really nice firmness to it. So I know that's going to set in there quite beautifully. And we put in a clip over the top. And repeat process. So there's probably going to be a lot of people thinking, why are you using so much product? Why do you use... So this was most popular is people were asking me, you know, why do I use hairspray to set? It is the most effective tool in our armoury for setting hair. So once again, it's very hard to see this come out on camera, but literally I did do 2 passing whiffs with that. Run that through. Obviously without the glove hand I can then tell distribution of product. How does that feel? Down to the ends. And that's how we use that a lot backstage on smooth hair, because you can curl or straighten with a silky smooth. Just because it says silky smooth, it's not about always being straight. Irons to wave the hair, etc. It's just used as a really good controlling tool. So we use very, very minuscule amounts, but it's just great just to go over that. Right, back in with the hairspray. Now I've got a little bit more hair on here, so we make sure we dust both sides, very important. That way you're increasing the heat protection. One of the reasons why we've got all that double product now of heat protection. Silky Smooth can have a great barrier and shine, and the hairspray adds the setting part. Anyone who watched all the coverage of us at Swim Week and you're interested in coming, well, guess where you can find out about that? UnitedHair.com, look for Runway Ready. We're starting all the programs again because New York Fashion Week is on the horizon. And we'll be there as normal, London, Paris, as per usual each season. So if you want to come and join us, you sign up, do the easy bit, put your name down. And I was talking about this to someone the other day, even if you're frightened about coming to work backstage, do not worry about it. Your part of the class is to assess where you're at, styling wise, and then put you with someone accordingly that can lead you through the process. You're not left on your own. Even if you only wanted just to assist first few days, it really isn't a problem. You do whatever you wish and feel comfortable at your level, because some people find it very, very intimidating. So, as we said earlier, she finds her hair knots up a little bit, so that's why I'm continually product, brush, comb each time. Laminate the product on. So all I'm doing is looking after the process of when I want to brush it out afterwards. And the firmness of that wrap is really, really important. So, you know, it is a godsend to use gloves on something like that, because it will allow me to really wrap the hair around the iron. I never used them before, a long time ago, and then as you burn your fingers enough, they become very, very useful products for you. So think about placement as well of your metal clips, heat marks as well. It's very, very important we don't get those. Very, very quiet people. Nothing?
Yeah, someone just waved at you.
Who was that? Spill the beans.
I Soon Malta is my best guess.
What?
On their handle. It's Instagram, there's nobody's name.
No, but how do you spell that?
AYSUNMALTA.
We must know them.
Very close, they said.
But no cigar. Yeah, Mike when he gets a little bit of the old European vibe or whatever word in front of him, we get some of the most hilarious pronunciations. A bit like we were talking about the word orange earlier today. Our makeup artist today has got a unique pronunciation of the word orange. It's sounding more like orange.
Let's hear it.
Orange.
Orange. There we go.
Orange.
Orange. Don't know what that
Use
is.
the right way.
I don't even know if I've even ever eaten one. I've eaten plenty of oranges in my time, but never orange. Sounds like a speech impediment. I should be a school teacher. I'd have everyone doing elocution lessons.
Oh yeah, you'd be so great with students.
Yeah, wouldn't I? Listen, the comment was I'd be so great with students. Listen, I'll have you know, runway ready, the first day, they all hate me. The second day, they all hate me more.
But they do learn.
But we do learn, exactly. Do you call that a parting? Do you think that looks straight? That's what I was screaming at them. Yeah, I've got a great area. You know, they always say, oh, the younger generation, they're not being taught like that. Listen, they're some of the best students I ever have now. And I don't know whether it's because it's a completely alien teaching method, because I'm doing it from back in the days of Louis XV and France in the 1700s, but they really rise to it. They love it. They abuse me for it, as you can tell from one of our favourite videos that I have got on repeat, and I'm never going to lose it because I know who you are. The lot that took the mickey out of me to Miami, doing my impression, or whatever it might be, Tyra. So, yeah, I always say to everyone, Liam Neeson, I will come and find you. Revenge is best product served cold, deliciously cold. Get them when they least expect it. So I'm pushing that iron down the hair, flatten the cuticle out, helping the actual shine process, and I'm coming away from the root base, giving it some stretch. I don't want this to be curly up near that parting. Nice amount of tension in there. You can sometimes change the direction of it by just folding the iron one way or another. That really does help as well. So, as always, play around with it on a mannequin head is ideal. Test this out, improve your technique, practice, practice, practice. It's all you have to do. Don't practice what you're good at, practice what you know. Curling hair and everything else did not come naturally to me when I first started hairdressing. Obviously, I wasn't running around worrying about how to curl hair when I was 15. Because, you know, I never thought I'd become a hairdresser. All the girls had a head start on me, so I had to practice harder, I felt. So we're going to let that cool down, and I'm going to do some more in the back. So, Rachel, we can all check the side profile now, how that looks. So we do a radial parting, which basically splits from the crown. Let's pull your head over that way, all right? So that radial comes over there behind the ear down to mastoid process bone, behind the ear where the hair naturally separates. Good practice to always get into those sort of section patterns. We use them a lot more for cutting, but they're also very, very relatable when we set hair. It should be no difference. You should have nice clean sections irrespective of whether you're cutting hair, styling hair. It will just make your life easier. You can always go full speed and do it differently when the pressure is on, but generally slow and methodical will always beat the rush. It's the old tortoise and the hare scenario. Do you have that in the US, tortoise and the hare?
Yes.
Or do you call it something else?
Yeah,
Like
the turtle and the rabbit.
the turtle and the rabbit, turtle and the coyote, something like that. Change it to. Just tip your head forward there for me. So there we go. So we split that down. Get a nice size section. And I just find working from the bottom up is just easy for me. You don't have to do it if you prefer working top down. It's just that I like doing that the way the hair will then sit on the top like I've got the previous ones. No questions? No one else tuned in? We've had one person, that was it.
Well, one person that interacted, but anybody that's watching, feel free to.
Come on, we want to ask some questions about anything else. Doesn't even have to be about what we're doing today, but that would help. Right, mid-lengths and ends. The hair's got a lot of moisture here in the neck, so naturally, don't need it there. Rachel's actually got very, very wavy hair, so prepping with this product in there as well is really going to help with the longevity of it. What made you want to go darker?
I was blonde for a while,
Yeah?
and when I got dark, or when I went darker, I felt like I got more compliments, so I just kind of stuck with that.
So more attention as a brunette?
Yeah,
I
yep.
have a question.
Yeah.
What spray are you using?
What?
What spray are you using?
Well, tell me who it's from.
Ace and Malta.
Hey.
From earlier.
So you can't pronounce the word either.
No.
As we said at the beginning, it's Max Control. Okay, Max Control is probably our most reliable or most effective setting spray out of all of what we use. Doesn't mean it's the only one, but I'm using it because we use this more than any of the others when when doing the shows, the setting. It's a great combination of hold, and also, what's the word I want here?
Ice in Malta.
Viscosity. Sorry?
It's ice in Malta, is how you pronounce it.
Ice in Malta.
Yeah.
Well, are they actually in Malta?
Great question.
Are you actually in Malta? That's what I want to know. 'Cause one of my best friends from school was Maltese, so we know all about that.
And then we do have a question here from Straight Wavy Curly. On the side, he is gradually on the side, is he gradually further from the root as he gets closer to the part?
To the top, yes. We have a little bit more root stretch closer we get to the parting. Think about that as well. What are we trying to create here? What shape? Like, do I need lots of volume in the root base on the top, or am I doing something that will have more curl from parietal ridge down? That's what I think is my optimum. Very rarely do I, unless I'm doing specifically curly hair, I ever want to go that far. Or if you did your test piece, here's one for you. If you do your test piece and you find out how the hair responds, argument's sake, this was really resistant, I may curl it up a bit higher. That is always the process of why you do a test bit, because that may drop. Like, you might have really heavy hair and the weight of it is purely going to pull that root base out. So I might need it to be wound to the root base. So every head's going to be different. And I always say this when we do the class, we do the teaching for Fashion Week, etc. One size does not fit all. It's the technique is more important than actually copying exactly what I've done here. I'm doing it for the specific for the head type, or hair type I should say. You've got to know what the hair is going to do in front of you. And you can't garner that unless you're experienced. Anyone who works behind the chair for a long time knows exactly what that means. You may use variations of the same technique, but all on different people. You wouldn't cut a graduated bob argument's sake, the same on every head of hair, because one might be super thick, one might be really fine. So you then might go into rounded graduation to create exactly the same shape as normal graduation to create weight, or take weight away. So yes, great little observation, very, very important, and something that we try and stress to everyone all the time when we do the classes is that preparation is key. We don't care what the result is, because we can always change the result if the prep's been done really, really well. Super important. Great question, great observation.
Ice in Malta is actually in the US, they're Turkish.
Okay, but not Maltese, so we've completely got that wrong. Have you been to Turkey, Mike?
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I did a documentary on Hagia Sophia.
Wow.
Mike's an international superstar. He has got Grammy. I'll keep on saying. I can't keep a straight face. I said he'd won Grammys before, and you can't win Grammys, it's music. What have you won? Emmys.
A couple of Emmys and a couple
It's just,
of
hold on.
Hey.
It's just casually that. Couple of Emmys and a couple of what?
Tellys.
Couple of Emmys and a couple of Tellys. Emmy, Telly, Emmy. Take your pick. Just throw them out. He walks around with them and just throws them on the floor every now and again. when we criticised his videography, he was like, there you go, there's an Emmy for you. Oh, there's one over there as well.
Stay humble, people. Stay humble.
Yeah. It's not what he says on his T-shirt right now. It's got Emmy award-winning, looking for an Oscar BAFTA. I'm going to get you the T-shirt for Fashion Week. Coming through, Emmy award winner. Yeah, he needs it because he has to have a fight in the pit. The stories he tells us about pit wars. Yeah, Stacey, phone the pic with you. She wants me to do limbering up for a certain video she wants me to make. Mike needs to do one for pit wars. Mike, what's it like backstage getting in the pit?
Oh, a lot nicer nowadays than it used to be, I'll say.
Oh, how boring. You used to like fight your way into the pit. You have to get a special pass. They don't want him in there.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's still a lot of pleading and begging.
Yeah, because everyone wants to be there up front getting that money shot. Well, that was a good conversation. That just literally just came out of being in Turkey.
I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but they're saying that you have to go to the Hatay province in Turkey. Hatay?
Hatay? What are you becoming Japanese all of a sudden?
Hatay. But put a little Turkish on it.
Okay, we're going to pretend you said Haiti then. Why is that?
Yeah, why do you recommend that spot?
Sorry, I turned my iron off. I don't know when the iron turned itself off because I had it on too long, so I'm just waiting for it. It's not, I'm not trying to scold her hair. If anyone knows.
Smoke?
It's still heating up. Yeah, where is it? Because I've been to where the salt flat areas, they're not flats, but they are like
Pronounce Hatay.
Hatay. Beautiful water over there as well. Oh, go swimming over there, amazing.
Yeah, I saw the Ottoman Empire ruins, all kinds of fun stuff over there. A lot of history.
Of course. Thousands of years goes back. Well, Istanbul, Constantinople was the gateway, still is, gateway between the east and the west. So
Yep. Yeah, the waterway's very scenic.
great bit of history over that part of the world, actually.
There you go. This is my first exposure to Unite. I have a solo studio, mixed product brand. If I was interested in doing Fashion Week,
Yes.
would it be better to be brand agnostic, or any recommendations on getting prepared for taking Fashion Week class?
From
Are you going to be taking our Runway Ready class? That's Straight Wavy Curly is asking. And where are you based?
yeah, where are you? Chances are yes, all the above, because you know, I generally take all of them. So I'm over in the UK next week. I leave tomorrow. Watch out, UK, the boy's back. I leave tomorrow. We do the class Monday, Tuesday. So if you're thinking about it, you're in the UK thinking about it, get on the damn phone. Come on, let's see you there. Yeah, I'll do that one. We've got Germany coming up. And then obviously we hit, when I get back here, we hit Carlsbad, and then we do the actual class before New York, directly before.
They're in Oklahoma, not registered, but very interested.
Okay, well it's very easy. Okay, let's do that. I'm going to have a conversation with you here over. You're interested. Are you concerned about coming? Are you excited about going? Want to know more? What's holding you back from pressing the button? There you go. That's a good one for you.
And then to maybe help with that original question, Gary, what are like 5 products of ours that they should familiarize themselves with to get ready for Runway Ready?
Hairspray.
There you go.
Silky Smooth.
Yep.
Smooth and Shine. Texturizer. Booster Spray. Beach Day. Second Day. You Dry Fresh, You Dry Plus, all of those. The hairspray is the key element. Is so we use hairspray, I'll give you this one. We use hairspray massively amount backstage purely because we can do so much with it, and you're also being good to the models and good to the teams that may be doing the hair for those girls afterwards, because a lot of these girls will go and walk 3-4 shows in a day. Hairspray will brush out. If it's used properly, in the correct way, it will all come out and you can restyle it. It makes the hair prep even better. So that is one of the reasons. And also you can change the hairstyle up, and this happens every season, where a designer might change their mind. So for argument's sake, we were doing a slick ponytail, and I said this to someone in Miami. I was like, well, okay, we were going to do a shiny ponytail. What would they? I just asked them out of general, what would you use? And they were like, oh, I'm going to use a pomade. I'm like, okay, but what happens if this girl is walking later on, and she was on another designer, and her hair's got to be like this, dry, big, voluminous, bouncy blowout. There's no way to wash the hair. So that's why we're using hairspray. You can change it and change it and change it. And this makes sense for when you do hair for shoots, bridal or anything. You've got to look at, even in a salon basis, just think about, give yourself an option. What if the client, etc., change their mind, or it doesn't come out how you wish? How are you going to change it? You can't spend that amount of time on a client and then have to go and wash all the hair again. You will put yourself under stress. So one of the great things about doing Fashion Week, it solves problems massively. It really is. Session work is problem solving, and you are giving yourself options and a guaranteed get out of jail free card, community chest, for changing it accordingly. I do like that. I love the idea of having something that is malleable, change the fabric of hair, but then is not the definitive answer. If I'm doing it on a shoot, I'm going to do generally all the wet look stuff all at the very, very end. We do all the dry stuff first and then build your style accordingly. Any other comments, Mike?
Ice and Malta has left, but they said thanks for the laughs and the good convo. They recommended that place in Turkey. It's not well known to tourists, so you get a real local experience, and it's great food and spices.
Mm.
And then someone else asked a question. Where is it? Why are you using 2 different sprays?
Okay, one, who's that from?
Mary Chisholm, Wine, Dine and Design.
Okay, hello Mary Chisholm, Wine Dine Design. So the first one is the ultimate heat protection. It's silky smooth. So I'm working on wavy hair. So I want to add some extra heat protection, but also smooth the cuticle out. This is really, really good. It's part of my prepping tool. And then the other spray is hairspray, and that is what's going to give me the set and all the hold. And silky smooth is heat activated as well, like a lot of other things. Nice bit of tension there as well on the actual iron. Give it a really nice pull on there. You can see I can move the head. You want that tension in the root base. You want to stretch. Styling in hair generally always happens when you are stretching the hair, putting it under stress, moving it from one shape to another. Right, I'm going to just pin that up. How we doing? Okay, is it Francisco's turn now? Come and do some styling. Oh no, he's like, oh no. These should have cooled down in time. Well, the good thing is, when I take the pins out, as you can see, the hair still stays there. And that's it. That's the look from Miami Swim Week. No, that's good. We want that. All right, that's the sort of, that's going to give me hold. If it's doing that now, I know that will give me hold. So I'm going to brush that through. It's always about brushing. And guess what we do more? We brush and brush. We saw this trend, as I say, back at the beginning of the season in New York, and it went through the other stages. We saw it being used. Lagance and Pamela Rowland's show, and it's just carried on. It just that sort of glamour-esque vibe was really, really huge. Right, I'm going to pull out each one individually, then I'm going to brush them together. Got something going on there, and this is what I like, is that the hair wants to fight me. It wants to get back to being curly, which is good. So that's where that brushing comes in. If it's coming out too easily, we're in trouble. So you can see how much tension I'm putting on the hair, brushing that through. Right, get a little comb. You're going to get a little spoiler alert as well when I've done this. So we're just brushing that through.
Harry, which fashion week is your favorite? New York City, Paris, Miami, London?
I don't generally differentiate too much between them all. That's quite a hard question to answer. I just think it depends on the shows you get in any particular season when we're there, you know. You just might, I think the shows stand out for me now. It's like, oh, we did that show there and that was great, and then we did that show there, that was great, and that's just tough, Mike. It really is.
Do you prefer the setting in Paris?
I mean, there's some of the buildings, you know, you get in Paris are fantastic, but that's the same everywhere. You know, we've got some great locations in New York we've done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably always say, for me personally, I do, and that's just personal taste, I do love going back to Paris. It's just something about it. I don't know why, but I just do. Maybe I'm a secret Parisian, I don't know. I've got associations with the place. No
I have
idea.
a question about your technique and products here. Would that same combination be helpful for really fine hair, or do you have a different recommendation?
Well, her hair is actually really fine. There's just a lot of it. So
this person's having problems holding curls and really fine hair.
well, then you've got to use you have to use that spray. If you're not using enough spray, then you won't get any hold. As I said before, you want the bounce. And you know, I haven't done Rachel's hair before, so it's a great test of like, okay, you know, how much curl have I got in there? It was quite interesting to see how much of that, what it responded to. Even though I've got, you know, a reasonably small barrel on there, I could have gone down another size maybe to make that even more pronounced. I might go down to an actual curling iron and just really see what that gives me. So come over, we'll give it a little dusting of a spray.
So hairspray before winding the hair?
You have to. You've got to use a tool to set the spray. You've got to use a tool, some product, to set the hair. If you haven't got anything to set the hair with, how's it going to hold? You know, you answer the question yourself. It's like, well, imagine if we didn't have any product to put in hair. You've got this type of hair. I always say, you think about it. Back in the day, when we look at the old Hollywood hair, how was the hair done? It was put under a hairdryer with setting lotion. That setting lotion used to sound like, it was like rock hard when you actually brushed it out of the hair. You'd have to put your knee in the woman's back to brush it out and keep brushing it and brushing it, and it would spring back. So we're trying to recreate that to give it really, really a huge amount of hold in there. So, you know, products are key. Hairspray, and that's why I always say, test it. We haven't got the luxury of putting a setting roller in there. And I remember back in the day, you know, when I was doing women who were sitting under the dryer, each lady under the dryer would have a different size roller sometimes as well, because it's the same principle. It would set differently. So that is how we produce lovely glamorous waves. And let's free this up now we've done that. I want turn that into something textured. All right, so a little bounce, a little bit of texture. We can then hit that with a little bit of texturizer, and then we have a little bit of variation on a theme. But it's still there. So, if she's my client, I'm going to tell her I would want to cut more shape in the front to accentuate all of this. It may need a little bit off the bottom, but I want to put a couple bit more layers in there, and we would have a lot more of it going on. So, this is just a little teaser as well, because I'm doing a full-length video of this, finished for Unite Hair TV. So, hopefully some of that was interesting. The next live, what's that, Up Style and Chill?
Up Style and Chill.
What are we chilling about? And why is it never me who gets to chill? Why is it Ali?
Because you're a hard-working man.
She's going Up Style and Chill, so she's doing up styling, sitting on a stool, and taking as long as she likes on Monday, July 21st, which is a couple of weeks away, 3 weeks away.
That's quite
Yeah, 3 weeks away. Oh, God, she's part-time, that woman. 10 a.m. as usual with Ali. So join her then. And I'm not going to see you now until August. They all cheer. Hurrah! Hopefully I'm going to see some of you at Fashion Week. I'm just going to do one more little trick for you. So we're using all that spray. We want to brush this out. We want to control it. You dry fresh. You know, let's freshen up that hairstyle. Pun intended. Don't be shy with this. Let's see what that does.
Hairstyles by Lucy is the person who asked about the fine hair curls, and they said thank you. That's really helpful. I normally use the texturing spray,
Which is great, but you know that will give you a slightly different fabric to the hair. All right, so always ask yourself, what is the fabric you are trying to turn that hair into? It becomes very, very important. So if you want something with, you know, texture in there, etc., then texturizer may be the way. And Beach Day is very, very good. Setting spray, separating all this out, second day, etc. But yes, it will have a certain amount of hold, but Hairspray has got our most amount of hold in there. And Max Control, because it is so easy to use, Session Max is too extreme. Session Max really is, it's like our glue. It's like the final spray you would go onto, but it's phenomenal for creating wet looks and very, very high shine, sleek looks as well. So we use all of them. We've got 5 hairsprays in the line. Okay, we start off with Go 365, which is a great one for setting fine hair as well. So I recommend trying that. Use it on the medium to high setting. Go 365. Magic Mike's got his fingers on it there, I hope. That's our first entry level, as I call into it. Max Control is always a client's favourite. And then we would go into Session Max. After that, Booster Volumizing Hairspray. Amazing. It's a great setting spray. And then our multi-layered, multi-versatile brushable hairspray, which is RePlay. Once again, it's all about the fabric of the hair you want to try it out on. They're all very, very different. So thank you so much for tuning in. See Ali on Monday, July 21st, and I'll catch you guys in August.